Meanwhile, I apologize for the break, but I mean, as some people were saying in the chat, PartinG was on a break, so we did have a little bit of downtime, but finally, both the players are ready, and we are diving straight into our grand finals.
That we are our best of 5. Starting here on 2000's Atmosphere. LE, what is my age? Again, I need to think of. I was trying to come up with a different Blink-182, so I'm doing that, but didn't quite flow too well. In the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner map, we have the blue Zerg player coming down from the land of South Korea. I want to say he smashed his way through the bracket, but he definitely had to work for it. Still, though, he is the biggest name in this bracket right now. He is representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. He is Donnie Darko.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red, representing himself and sponsored by Corsair, as well as his, what are they called, sugar babies? Sugar bears? Sugar daddies?
Sugar bears? Sugar babies? Puppy? I feel like it changes every time you, every time you does it.
It is PartinG.
And we have actually the same amount of fans here for both Dark and PartinG, but suffice to say, our PartinG voters are a lot more confident in him than they are in Dark.
I mean, I don't blame him, right? Like, when we saw the initial bracket, PartinG was definitely the Protoss player of the tournaments, definitely the strongest one here out of all the others. Unfortunately, we didn't see players like Zest or Trap this week, or Stats even. So, yeah, PartinG, he was able to make it all the way to the grand finals, and now finally he gets to play some StarCraft after like a 2-hour break.
How did he keep the stream going is what I want to know.
Right? Like, I was about to ask, like, what has he been doing this entire time? Like, is he just watching, like, YouTube videos? Or, like...
Let's go. Pulling me on Micah. He's reacting to Kitchen Nightmares. He could probably watch an episode of Kitchen Nightmares at the time that game number 1 took.
Probably watch 2 episodes, man. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Oh my god. But, you know, he has had a lot of time to just, like... Yep, exactly. He's had a lot of time to really, like, contemplate and like, ponder on, like, what he wants to do in this series, how he's going to play it out, what builds does he have planned.
See, when you started with, like, contemplate and ponder, I thought you would be like, contemplate the universe, contemplate...
No, man.
No. But, yeah, he has had a lot of time to just look at how Dark wants to play. He knows that Dark wants to be aggressive in the ZVP matchup, but if push comes to shove, he can play out a much longer game. So honestly, I feel like his best bet, and he may disagree with me, this is an outsider looking in, I feel like his best bet may be gateway units, right? Utilizing his strength of being able to maybe out micro Dark and hit a really good timing attack. For now, though, he is just opening up with that Stargate.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think that there is, like, a little potential there for someone like PartinG to be aggressive off of, like, 3 bases and push out, you know, whether it's with Blink Stalkers or Charge or something. We'll see, because it does feel like Zaun, for the most part, was relatively passive in his entire series versus Dark. Zaun wanted to get into a longer game, and it was usually Dark the one who was stopping that from happening. But, yeah, oh my... We got a Fleet Beacon.
It's an early Fleet Beacon.
Okay.
PartinG.
Okay. We can go a couple of ways from here. We can go a couple of directions. One, he can go full pocket mic. And what I mean by that is he has been playing with fast Tempest play. Just straight up into Tempest. 2, old school pocket mic. Straight into carriers. 3, which I think is unlikely, is for him to go like fast future pocket mic. That is like Flux Veins into Void Rays. But the problem is that he isn't producing more Void Rays, so it looks like it is going to be either Tempest or carrier.
Yeah, most likely. Personally, I am kind of messed up in the head here, but I would love to see a Mothership come down from this. I don't think he'll have the gas for it, but still, indulge me for a sec. But yeah, he is going forward to Tempest.
So, I have seen this maybe like 4 or 5 times in the last like 3 weeks, and I've seen it lose every time. So
that's a good sign.
There are some problems with this. So the idea behind going for Tempests like this is once you have enough Tempests, like maybe like even 3 or 4, you can kill Queens pretty easily. You can focus them down, and then because Tempests are amazing like that, they can kill hatcheries, and you can kill the 3rd or the 4th, or go into the main base and kill the main, right? There's a lot of potential with your Tempests. The problem is that if this gets scouted, oh my god, and he's just switching things completely.
Switching into Flux Veins. He is completely bamboozling Dark right now, making him think it's one thing, and
well, Dark didn't even scout.
Not realizing he didn't scout.
His lane did see a Tempest, though. To be fair, did he see it with his own eyes? I don't know. Meanwhile, here comes the Tempest. It will be chipping away at this 4th base, or is it? He actually bypasses it entirely, mate. He's going straight for the natural. He's splitting up his Tempest.
Which I actually don't mind. If you could take out the Spore Crawlers, those Flux Vein Void Rays are gonna have an absolute field day. Prismatic alignmenting, prismaticing. I don't think that's a good verb. Using prismatic alignment. There we go.
Yeah.
On hatcheries.
Mate, he's harassing with Tempest right now. He's hitting 2 bases at once. At the same time, the Void Rays are looking to show up as well. And as all this is happening, Dark doesn't even care because he was going for +1 melee. He's morphing in a bunch of Banelings. He's going for like a massive Ling Bane bust.
Right for the throat.
Oh. Where are the splits, Papi? Split! He notices!
They're pretty decent, but there's still plenty of Banelings, and they're almost getting cornered! Good surround there with the Lings. The Banelings don't quite get the connections that Dark wanted, but the Lings are still very much in play. And a lot of these probes are very softened up.
That they are. At the same time, one of the Tempests does get into the main base. The 4th base does get denied, but these Lings are still wreaking havoc here. The overcharge is about to finish up, and the Lings are going to be able to take out everything. There is some really nice SimCity, as you mentioned before, but oh god, he really needs his Void Rays to come back. They're on the way.
Thankfully, Flux Veins, he doesn't have to utilize a recall for that. Can send him back, and 8 probes being taken out right now. Dark definitely wanted to get a lot more done. They're almost even on workers at the moment.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure a lesser player, like even a player like Zaun, would have maybe even lost the 3rd. At least lost all the workers here. So really well done here by PartinG, was able to come back home. That Tempest is still alive and being oh so annoying in the main base of Dark. Dark hasn't lost too many workers, he's only lost 6, but he invested a lot of Lings there. If we have a look, 62 Lings went down this game.
That definitely stacks up.
It definitely does.
I don't want to do the math to see what the total resource for that is, but that's quite a lot. Dark is going for a little bit of a desperation move right now. He's getting all his tech, Galarian Constitution, Spire, and also a Nidus Worm.
Oh boy, and here comes the Nidus, and the Nidus is so key here because, I mean, look at the amount of queens. There are so many queens. If we quickly take a look, 14 queens for Dark. They're going to be popping out of this Nidus, pushing into the natural base. At the same time, Lings are trying to hit the 3rd base once again, focusing down the shield batteries. That'll help so much when the queens finally pop out.
And it does distract a lot of these Void Rays. The queens are now in position. The Void Rays, PartinG needs to kite them. He has Flux Veins. Okay, that's very good. He cannot sustain a fight against these queens, but he can micro them.
Yeah, and what's important, here we go, more shield batteries are being thrown down at the 3rd base and at the natural. Right now, PartinG just needs a little bit of time to allow them to finish up, and you know what? Queens, they're so slow. He has plenty of time, or Dark is giving him plenty of time.
Exactly. Dark needs to pull the trigger. He needs to go for one of the throats of PartinG right now. But he hasn't yet decided what that's gonna be. A couple of roaches coming out. This Tempest is still being annoying.
Mate, those Tempests just killed a Bailey nest.
Might as well. What else are they gonna do?
Exactly. Meanwhile, here comes finally the push for Dark. He did morph in every single one of his roaches into Ravagers, so Biles will be landing on the shield batteries.
And I feel like Dark is starting to make headway here. The Corruptors? No. Void Rays are still in the air. And they're still very maneuverable right now, but PartinG is, or Dark rather, is making its way through. PartinG is losing ground, but will it matter in the end? He's out of battery overcharge.
Exactly, overcharge is done. The shield batteries are out of energy. They're being biled down. The queens are pushing on forward. So far, the majority of the Void Rays have managed to stay alive, but is it going to be enough? Because the queens are not stopping, mate.
he's running out of transfuse energy, which is
True.
definitely worrisome, but there's still plenty of queens out here right now. The Lings doing such a good job of distracting these Void Rays and allowing the queens to make further headway here.
Yeah, oh god, but the queens, they're falling. As you said, they're out of energy. One by one, they are falling to the Tempest of all things. More Tempests are coming out, and Dark, mate, he's being forced back.
That he is. He is remaking his tech. His spawning pool actually went down, it seems.
Oh my god. That Tempest is still
It did go down earlier on. That Tempest is still... That's all you really need.
And Dark is running out of steam. He does push on forward, does lose another queen though, and god, like, again, PartinG, as long as his micro is on point, he shouldn't lose any of these Tempests, and now the Disruptor is out.
It is, but the queens do stay alive. Dark is not looking to fight though. He is looking to go for probes, and he is getting quite a number of them down. You know, PartinG can't exactly split his army efficiently to deal with them, but when it's all said and done, despite all these worker losses, PartinG is still even on workers.
Exactly. PartinG economically is still perfectly fine, still kept his Disruptor alive, and that Tempest count is getting higher and higher. And this is what I was talking about before. Like, when you get like 4 Tempests out like this, like they can just have their way with queens.
But can they have their way with Corruptus Light?
I mean, the Void Rays
being made right now,
yeah.
the Void Rays are super scary. Yeah.
I mean, these Corruptors will deal with this one lone Tempest for now, which is great. +1 fire attack is on the way, but I am concerned for Dark here because he's playing into PartinG's hands. When PartinG open up with Tempest, the response typically is to go for Corruptors, but then he hard switch into Flux Veins and Void Rays, and that's exactly what he wants against Corruptors. Like, I don't know if this is the best unit composition here for Dark.
If only there was Scourges in StarCraft 2.
Family.
But Dark is building up his air army, getting the upgrades that he needs. I really like how he's utilizing those Zerglings, just trying to force PartinG back, but he ain't buying it.
He's not. I mean, at least he was able to deny the 4th base, which is huge. At the same time, PartinG is across the map. Here come the Queens and the Corruptors. Maybe together they are enough to take out the Void Rays.
They might be. There is a lot of transfuse energy available right now for these Corruptors. But the Disruptors are scary. They're keeping the Queens from keeping the Corruptors from getting the treatment they need from the Queens.
Yeah, and nicely done. He does force PartinG to recall. You know, a stray Void Ray and a Disruptor do get picked off, so now Dark does have a little bit of momentum going his way. Finally, he's retaking his 4th base.
But with all these Corruptors out, it's gonna be a little bit tricky. Now, Dark does not have recall. Unfortunately, Zerg doesn't have recall available to them, and he is very far on PartinG's side of the map.
Oof. And just like that, these Corruptors are dealing. Yeah, he's forced to cancel again. Mate, PartinG cannot expand.
That he cannot. He's trying to over in the northeast, the more northern base, but Dark gets wind of it.
Yeah.
He's looking to take that the F out.
Exactly, it does get denied. Meanwhile, the Tempests are exposed, and 2 of them immediately go down.
Along with a couple of... Okay, the Void Rays do barely stay alive there, thanks to the shield batteries, but Dark, he is waiting for PartinG to turn around. He is waiting to one-shot these Void Rays bit by bit. He can't sustain a fight, but he can take a Void Ray out in his retreat.
Yeah, exactly, especially because these Void Rays, they're kind of like, you know, being segregated at the moment. Like, they're being split apart. They're not all together, so whenever that happens, Dark does dive in. Ooh, he has to be careful, though. Again, he has to respect the Void Rays.
He very much does. And PartinG, he is, I was gonna say starving, but he's actually building up quite a bit of a bank here. His income is hurting so much because of all the harass from Dark, but he actually has been banking up minerals and gas here in order to get carriers out.
Yeah, 3 carriers are on the way. Oh my god, this is dangerous. PartinG, he's going to establish his 4th base. He's got his pylons up. He's throwing down all these shield batteries. It's going to be so difficult for Dark to break this position. And PartinG, he's doing what Protoss recently do best, and that is turtle up until he gets Sky Toss. Ooh.
Yeah, really what you want when you're going for a Sky Toss composition like this. But if you're Dark, then making sure that your Protoss opponent can't actually mine from those bases is absolutely key. Corruptors trying to see what they can get done. Pick up a Void Ray, but he is starting to bleed out a couple of units. I think Dark might have enough to fight if he just continues kiting.
Yeah,
Prismatic
yeah.
Alignment is going to put us up to that.
Every single time he does pick off a Void Ray, and sure, Dark is losing army, but Dark, he's been left alone for the past couple of minutes. Like, he's got a 5th base on the way, and, you know, it's getting fully saturated. Dark can afford to lose Corruptors. PartinG cannot afford to lose Void Rays.
That he cannot. Dark, he's content. He should not be making more drones for a long time. It is going to be nothing but Lings and Corruptors coming out. Corruptor Bane, huh?
Interesting, right? Interesting composition. Ling Bane Corruptor, mate, I was telling you, this is what he was going for in Heart of the Swarm. But against Terran. Yeah. Against Terran, yeah, not so much against Protoss. But so far, it's working out well for him. But as time goes on, that carrier count is getting higher and higher. But what's important is that it doesn't really matter. Like, if these Void Rays fall, then the Corruptors can just one-shot those carriers and focus them down.
An absolute cloud of Corruptors in the sky. Disruptors trying to take out the Banelings, but now just way too many. Beautiful. Normally you split against Banelings. You don't actually split the Banelings, and there we have it. Dark takes care of the Void Rays and then takes care of the carriers. GG takes game number 1. Wow. Almost threw that game away.
GG, well played. PartinG being very cheeky there, but again, Fast Tempest has been popping up a little bit more frequently in the past couple of weeks. I've never seen it win.
Yeah. You're gonna have like a ledger, or not a ledger, but like a sign outside your door being like, days since Fast Tempest have won the Protoss player a game. Or now it's like never.
Oh god, I'm sure Rotterdam has some words for us, but
yeah, probably.
Oh god. So PartinG trying to be cheeky there, but Dark just completely shut it down. I love how aggressive he was with his Ling Bane. I mean, that was his original plan, and he just stuck with it. He's like, "What? You have Tempest and Void Rays? I don't care. I'm just gonna bust your third." And he was able to deal enough damage, force PartinG to go back home. Went for that Queen Nidus push, and sure, he didn't kill his opponent, but he did deal enough damage, and he was able to just back off, macro up.
Wow. Go ahead from there and continue on this series on Lightshade LE. We're here in the bottom right hand corner map, spawning all the way in that bottom right hand corner. We have the blue Zerg player coming out from the land of South Korea. He is an interesting player, to say the least. He has plenty of compositions up his sleeve. He is not quite the big boy, but he's getting pretty big. Representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. He is Dark.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is Red, representing himself, doing it for all his sugar bears out there. Question mark. It is PartinG.
And before too much action carries on here in the game, or before too much action actually happens, we do have one of the biggest Dark fans here in the chat. Unfortunately unable to bet on his boy, but if he did, then no doubt the points going towards Dark would be twice the amount going towards PartinG.
Yeah.
That's some setup you got there.
Shout out to Manekino in the chat. He said, "Guys, I'm ready. I set up my Dark Shrine," and we can we can see it. Oh my god, the candles being lit. That's chef's kiss right there.
Chef's kiss. I gotta be honest. When he said Dark Shrine, I thought he was actually spawning PartinG. But
yeah, same. I was a little bit confused at that, and then I saw the photo.
Yeah, Dark Shrine has been a pun for a while there, but that is definitely some setup. I'm liking the wood.
Yeah, he's got the collector's edition got the collector's edition of the games on the shelf.
Yeah, each expansion, Wings, Heart, and Legacy.
That's
I feel like I recognize that keyboard based on the wrist rest. I want to say it might be a Corsair, but I really don't know. That mouse, I want to say, is a Cooler Master. Could be wrong. I'm letting my PC build simulator ness come in.
Does your PC have thermal paste? Is the big question.
That's the question. That's the question. Yeah, you got some fancy purple cooling over there, but always remember the paste.
Oh god. As we are getting into game number 2, apologies for that tangent. But we do see PartinG switching things up completely, going for a Twilight Council.
Yeah, no Stargate here at all. Not even going to be a Void Ray into Twilight Council. This is just straight up classic. I want to say it's Adepts, right? But we have seen a couple of Protoss players go for charge rushes in PvZ.
What's important is that we've also seen, depending on the setup here, because the Robo's about to finish up, we could see a Dark Shrine, but another gateway was thrown down, so we'll see what upgrade gets started. There it is. It is Waves.
I know about you, Light, but I was looking at a Dark Shrine before this game started.
This is true. This is very true. I was looking at it as well. Oh boy. Oh boy. Unfortunately, PartinG doesn't have one. He needs to work on that.
If only he did. He needs to light a candle.
Feels bad, man. Oh boy, but
an offering.
Yeah, but honestly, it's been a while since I've seen this version of Glaive Adepts. More often than not, recently we've been seeing like Stargate into Glaive Adepts, right? Robo less. We've seen that be quite popular recently, but now this is a little bit more old school.
Yeah, the Stargate into Glaives definitely less of a commitment. It allows the Protoss player to transition out a lot smoother, which is what you want to go for, right? When you're opening up with a Stargate. But PartinG, he is a man of commitment.
Yeah, exactly. And what just happened was Dark hasn't gone into the main base. He doesn't know what the opening is, but he did just see all the Adepts leave the natural base, and immediately we see a massive wave of Lings on the way. We see a Spore on the way as well, because he knows it's Twilight Council. Just in case there are DTs, Roaches are coming out. He has the tools he needs. How good is his defense going to be? How many workers is he going to lose, if any?
That is going to be the question. Whenever Dark sees this build, he goes for a much bigger... He takes a much bigger risk in his defenses. He has 3 Ravagers out right now, and those are basically the only Roaches he's going to make for a while. He wants to rely on the Corrosive Vials as a means to pressure the War Prism.
The Queens are here.
Such a knife's edge style.
Yeah, he's trying to focus down the War Prism. Meanwhile, the Adepts did get surrounded by Lings. It looks like the Adepts actually shaded away back across the map. Oh my god.
My lord.
Yeah, and now the aggression has basically stopped. Like, PartinG, he's kind of given up on this. You know, we see he's switching into Immortals, looking to take another expansion.
Yeah, definitely not going his way so far. He wanted to do a lot more damage done with this commitment, but he didn't go all in, and that's the important part, right?
Yeah. I'm just surprised at how little he committed, essentially.
Yeah.
He does have to be careful, wants to make sure he babysits his War Prism, doesn't allow it to be piled down.
Which is exactly what Dark is looking for, going for the style. He is finally broken out. He knows that PartinG isn't going to be able to pressure him too much anymore. So finally, he's working in the next phase. Plus 1 melee on the way with a couple of Roaches to buffer. This is gonna be kind of interesting. Ling Bane with Roaches.
Yeah, Ling Bane, Roach Ravager. It is a little bit more Go Joey-esque. Like, he preferred this style for a long time. We would see it quite a bit against players like Starduck or Pez. But yeah, Dark, he really does seem to love his Lings. Time and time again, he does go for that +1 melee and the Baneling Nest. So he's looking to be very aggressive with his army, and we'll see how it does here, especially because this time PartinG won't have anything in the sky to help defend.
Oh, that is right. And he does have a fair number of Roaches, to be fair, but the rest of his army that he's using for buffer are Adepts, and once this Baneling Nest finishes up, we have 11 Banelings on the way. 1 wrong move from PartinG, and his buffer is gone.
Oh god, exactly. Meanwhile, it'd be crazy if he can just shade the Banelings.
Oh, he does! No! Thankfully, he turned away right at the last second, but he's still on creep. Despite being slow Banes, they were quick enough to waddle into the majority of those Adepts. And PartinG has lost all his steam.
I was about to say he's gonna be a madman if he commits to the shade because of the Banelings, and that's exactly what he did. And now, like, his army is battered and bruised. His War Prism is almost dead. He just barely limps away with his Immortals.
I feel like we see it often, right, Light, where a player goes for a push like that and the wind gets knocked out of their sails. This was the sails got burned up The mask got chopped down.
Mate, he just got the wind knocked
There
out
are
of him.
holes in the
Period.
boat.
He
Yeah.
just got knocked down to the ground, mate. Oh my god. I felt that.
Yeah. But as a Zerg player, though, did you feel that as like a pit in your stomach? Did that feel bad, or did that feel good? And
It's one of those things. It's like it's not like this. Like that should not have been happening. Like, PartinG is trying to multi-prong.
You wish that could happen to you when you're playing.
God, we have a couple of adepts shading into the third base again. PartinG has to do whatever damage he can. It does get cleaned up. At the same time, the War Prism with the 2 Immortals. You know, he's doing what he can. Oh god, he has to be careful. That War Prism taking quite a bit of damage.
But to be fair, I mean, Dark is a little bit more conservative when it comes to his anti-air. He's got toys around. The cannon not in range, and PartinG doesn't notice! Every single probe is going down, almost every single probe.
Mate, 16 probes. A mineral line has gone. It's just evaporated. It's done, mate. And we still got more Banelings.
We do.
And now he's got Bathing Speed! Oh, god!
Oh, yeah, I think... No, that was a changeling.
That's right. I thought the same thing. I thought PartinG saw it with his zealot, but nope, that's Dark. Oh god.
Well, this is gonna be very, very rough for PartinG. I think he has decent SimCity, so maybe if he's able to juggle to the best of his ability, he might be able to weather the storm, but there's plenty more where that came from for Dark.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the Banelings are rushing in. They're trying to chase down the probes. They do connect with some of the probes, but they just settle for pylons afterwards. PartinG, he does have 2 Colossus, and with these Colossus, he does hold the high ground, but he was unable to protect his minerals, unable to protect his workers.
That he was not. Dark is getting pretty close to maxing out right now, and PartinG, he's struggling.
The supply block,
actually supply capped, yeah. Pretty hard supply capped, behind on the income. Dark is about to finish up his +2 melee, so Banelings are gonna hit a lot harder. They are.
PartinG is pushing out into creep. He does have sentries, 4 force fields. He does have a decent amount of stalkers, and still those two immortals from earlier. So his army is still quite beefy. You know, if his force fields are on point, and it's PartinG we're talking about, so they should be, like, he can take a fight, but backs off instead.
Yeah, trying to hopefully out macro his way out of this position, and he does catch a couple of Dark Slings that we're trying to harass. Decent pick off, but I mean, it's just Lings that he took out.
Exactly, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Oh boy, meanwhile he's getting ready for another massive run by. We'll see if he like morphs him into Banelings as well and just crashes into the natural base. No, he'll just try and slip in anyway.
And there are no shield batteries over here, like that Zealot can go down. Colossus does come out, and that will push Dark away, but I mean, being forced to warp in back at home, and definitely not ideal.
Yeah, what I will say is that enough time has passed where Dark hasn't really been able to do anything, and PartinG, he's like safe on 3 bases, and he's been able to like breathe a little bit more, you know, like work on his army, macro up, try and catch up in terms of supply. He's still down, but like it's not as bad as it once was.
Definitely, and it does feel like Dark delayed his tech a little bit here. He will be finishing up the Lurker Den very, very soon. He is already on Hive.
No, he slips in!
Immediately gets the upgrades. He does slip in! Oh, it doesn't get too much from here on out, but Dark will be able to confirm, you know, PartinG, he's on 3 bases. He just wants to commit to this Robo style.
That he does. Meanwhile, beautiful force fields able to keep the Ling Bane at bay, but he's losing all his workers at the 3rd base.
And PartinG, he's got to be all in at this point, right?
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's microing pretty dang well. His force fields are making sure that he only engages in a favorable position, but that energy's going to run out. You know, there are still plenty of corrosive vials available for Dark, but he's kind of using them a little prematurely. Doesn't matter because they land on the army.
The Biles beautifully done, avoids the force field, instead goes for the army. And what's scary is that what you're saying is true, but eventually, like, your positioning doesn't matter once these lurkers get lurker range. Like, Dark has been taking up, he does have his hive, there it is, lurker range does start, and it's going to be so difficult for PartinG to make something happen here without Skytoss. Like, pushing into lurkers, like, you never want to be doing that.
Never, ever, ever. And you definitely don't want lurkers to be pushed into you. He might not have Psychic Spines just
Oh,
yet, but with Adaptive Talents, oh, that ball Dark didn't notice. Oh, come on.
The move command. Aye. That was beautiful by Dark. It was almost a massive brain play, but the Banelings, they do miss the mineral line in the end. But now PartinG, he's focusing on the main army fight. You know what? The soup, yeah, it's pretty close. It's pretty close between the two of them.
It really is, but PartinG definitely taking a couple of knocks here to his main army. The Queens are trying to chase the army away from their lawn. Massive run by going down over here. Dark, he's well aware that the Lings are just going to be shredded by the Colossus.
Oh god, that they are. That's why the Lings actually killed the third base. Now PartinG is stuck on 2 bases. He's essentially 2 base all in. Nice Link. He does take out a couple of lurkers for free.
Yeah, before they can even get to burrow, but now Lurker Speed has finished up. Oh, Lurker Range has finished up. In addition to
the Lurker goes down.
There aren't too many of them left.
Yeah,
to be fair. Yeah.
Only 3 lurkers, mate. You know, the army of Dark is getting lower and lower. I mean, again, PartinG is all in, and he has to try to win the game with this. This is all he has. As time goes on, more units are coming out for Dark. But mate, look at these force fields. Oh my god.
Absolutely on point. These Hydras get taken out right as they hatch.
Oh my god. Dark, he's just donating so much. Like, this is a meat grinder right now, and Dark, he's losing everything, and I feel like things are well in favor of PartinG right now. Like, I don't know if Dark can do it.
He's going for another run by.
I mean, he can't fight this. He just can't do it. Like, oh my god.
He can, but pretty soon he's gonna run out of tech.
Yeah, he's giving up his main base. The main will go down. Dark, hopefully he throws down, there it is, Lurker Den and Hydra Den is being thrown down at the third base, and the Lings are flooding into the main.
I think this is really the saving grace of Dark right now. Forces the recall. Not on the best locations, but PartinG, he is very much all in. Dark, he really needed just a second to breathe. That's all he needed, one breath. And now he hasn't. And
now he be breathing. This was not the time to recall. He recalled to do what? To save 1 probe? He literally has, this is the last probe for PartinG.
It is.
He's lost everything else.
I want to say maybe he was worried about his production, but he just doesn't have the resources to make use of that either.
Yeah.
It was a pretty tough position to be, regardless, but
true.
Yeah, PartinG might have had a bit of a better shot if he went for the base rate. GG! And Dark going to match point. It's a little bit shaky there. Yeah, towards the end of the game, though.
It was like PartinG
really
had a really good position up in the main base on top of the ramp. Like, Dark would not have been able to push up into his own main. The problem was that because of that massive Ling run by, PartinG would have lost by elimination. Like, if he didn't recall, period. Yeah. Right? Like,
he didn't have enough he couldn't sneak any of his probes out because Dark already had Adrenal Glands at this point. If he tried to send the probes out to take bases on the map or throw down buildings on the map, they would just get completely taken out. That 1 probe at the end might have been pretty important if PartinG needed to really go for the base rate, but I feel like after he recalled, he realized the position he was in. And to be fair, he also didn't know that Dark wasn't, expanding towards northeast, south, towards the west there. He didn't know that Dark didn't have any other buildings out.
Yeah, he didn't see the newest base of Dark. He didn't really, for PartinG knew that the top right-hand side of the map was also taken by Dark. But yeah, what a wild game number 2, and now, mate, we are on match point.
That we are loading into Oxide LE, what could potentially be the final map of today's ESL Open Cup Asia. Here in the top right-hand corner map, going for a 12 pool, he is coming out from South Korea, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. He is Dark.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player currently getting 12 pooled. He is, of course, representing himself and all of his sugar bears. It is PartinG.
He's doing it for you, Manakino. In the chat, he is doing it all for you.
What? Talking about Dark?
Dark, I mean. Yeah, Dark. PartinG.
There we go. There we go.
12 full.
Aye. 12 full, mate. Oh my god. PartinG, he will scout this as the probe is across the map. He sees, hey, hold on, there's nothing here at the natural. He's going to go in. He's going to see the timing of the pool, and he should be okay. This shouldn't kill him. Shouldn't. Massive shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but there have been times where Dark hasn't killed his opponent, but still was able to take the win. Oh, just denied. This one doesn't. And that's just going to be annoying for quite some time. Not as annoying as throwing it down at the natural location, you know, but PartinG, I feel, maybe overreacting to this a little bit.
We'll see. I mean, this means a couple of things, right? Obviously, is PartinG going to pull his Zealot to help defend against the proxy, against the hatchery? Like, he has to be here on the front line. We'll see what these Lings are going to be able to accomplish. What's important to note is that Dark isn't committing to this. Like, he isn't just like flooding Lings across the map. It's only these initial 6.
And they shouldn't get too much done here. A bit of a delicate dance between these Zealots and the Lings, but with that Cyber Core finishing up, Dep's gonna get chronoed out, and Dark, yeah, he's satisfied with what he's gotten so far. Yeah, it's actually delayed. The Nexus was so long, despite despite not proxying in location.
Well, I mean, he forced 2 Zealots to be made. He forced 2 Pylons to be dropped down at the front wall. So yeah, nicely done here by Dark. And of course, Dark, he can just cancel that hatchery. No massive commitment whatsoever. And Dark, just like he did in the previous series, I believe against Zaun, just takes a 3rd.
Why not? Does this mean that we're going to have the same Oxide game playing out?
We could. So for those who weren't here for the semifinals of Dark versus Zaun, because of this style, Dark, he delays his gas an insane amount, but as a result, mate, he just makes a bunch of queens, you know, eventually when he does have the gas, he works on his lair, and then I believe he went for a Nidus, right?
Yep, Nidus Swarmhost on Oxide. Swarmhost, bit questionable.
Oh boy. But, you know, PartinG, I love this. He's being active with his Zealots. He just sends them across the map. We have 2 Zealots chipping away at the 3rd base of Dark. Dark with slow Lings. He has to defend against the Adepts. Like, as a result, like, PartinG, he could take out this 3rd.
Yeah, Dark in a very tricky position right now, but okay. Now he only has to worry about one front. No multi-progs being thrown down. A single Adept, he does still need to remain diligent with his drones, but PartinG doesn't commit.
Yeah, he doesn't commit, and in the end, these Zealots will get cleaned up. Nicely done. The 3rd base did get pretty low, but in the end, it will be able to survive. It does stand strong.
I'm just waiting for a follow-up of Zealots to charge right into that base and take it out, but I doubt PartinG's gonna go for it. He's actually going for Glaive Adepts again.
Interesting decision. I like it. Honestly, this is pretty smart. Again, there's no gas, which means 1, there's no link speed, 2, there's no roaches. So what are you gonna do against Glaive Adepts? Like, there are only gonna be queens, which are incredibly slow, so you can avoid them, and slow Lings,
which you can also avoid or kill,
or just kill them. Yeah. Oh my god.
And Dark only now starting to get a Roach Warren down. He pulled out a gas after getting the Roach Warren. Okay, now he's back in. Yeah,
he did pull out a little bit. And this is getting kind of scary. Dark, quickly looking at his vision, he hasn't seen anything in the main base. He has no idea what PartinG is going for, and this is scary. These are scary times here. We have 5 gateways for PartinG. Glaives is about to finish up. He's going across the map with all of his Adepts.
That's a lot of army.
This is what there is to defend right now. We got a couple of roaches on the way, but this is not going to be a lot.
Really scraping the barrel right now. We need everyone.
Dark can defend, but it's going to be rough. He needs to make sure he controls his army well. He's connecting his bases with creep, which is great. Here we go. The Adepts reveal themselves.
And they immediately take out a queen. Very important that Dark was going for roaches. He wasn't sure what PartinG was going to go for, so he just decided to play it safe, and he's got a decent amount of roaches out right now, but the army supplies are starting to get comparable, and that always favors the Protoss player. Oh
yeah, definitely, and it looks like he does not commit to the Shade. Meanwhile, the War Prism is looking to dive into the main base. PartinG, I love this. He did this last time. He isn't committed. He's throwing down a 3rd, and he's working on Immortals. Like, he is not really planning to warp in wave after wave of Adepts here.
And this is going to work out for him so much better. Dark is still struggling to catch up a little bit. After that 12 pool.
Yeah, and honestly, really solid defense here by Dark. Things were looking really scary, but we, as well as PartinG, realized, hey, Dark just barely got his roaches out in time. He has enough queens, he has enough slow lanes, he will be able to defend here. And so we see that PartinG right now, he's just being cute. He's just keeping Dark busy while he takes the base and drones up. Probes up.
Yeah, probe, drone. Same, oh wait, no, they're different. Same function, you know?
Huh?
Then again,
harvesters, workers.
Yeah, harvesters, workers. I was gonna say same function, but then again, SCVs can repair. We didn't mention SCVs though, so.
Oh boy, but yeah, in the end, so Dark, he's safe and secure for now. He's working on his lair, I should say, on his Evo chamber. We'll see if he goes for a Nidus again. Like he seems to be pretty fond of it.
Yeah. Reliving some nostalgia from a couple of years ago.
Oh.
But they have... I honestly feel like they've been kind of 50-50 for him. The Spires are being thrown down, and I think the big question is going to be Mutas or Corruptors. With Dark, he can really go either way.
I think for the first time this series, we're going to see some Mutas out. We're going to see some Muta play, and that's going to catch PartinG off guard. At the moment, anyway, he has nothing that shoots up.
He really does not.
Ooh.
I mean, the Immortals can tank a little bit of shots, but what are Adepts gonna do?
Nothing, mate. Nothing. They're gonna die, mate. Thankfully, he's working on Blink for a Stalker transition. At the moment, he is pushing on forward. He's got plenty of Adepts here to buffer for 3 Immortals. Oh my god, but the Biles!
And it's almost getting overwhelming. One Adept will get taken out as it warps in, but PartinG, he's up in the army supply right now, Light, and he is bleeding out a little bit.
God,
but he's taking this fight as well as he can.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? That base is still low from earlier, so he can be focused down. The War Prism will manage to warp in another wave of Adepts. Unfortunately, Dark just hasn't had the opportunity to bile down that War Prism.
He has, you know that's what he wants to do, but just hasn't quite gotten in position yet. Needs to use these files to try to zone out the rest of the army. The third base will go down. And that's actually a lot of economy that Dark isn't going to have access to. He might lose the fourth!
Oh god, no, the fourth! He leaves it alone. Okay, he does turn back. The Immortals, they're going to try and focus it down, but there are Ravagers and Roaches here to help keep it alive. Oh my god, oh my god.
I wouldn't underestimate the... Oh, the War Prism will get taken out. And that's the wind getting knocked off the sails of PartinG over here. Dark, meanwhile, he's bleeding out economically, but look at that army supply difference. If he counterattacks right now, then maybe?
I mean, the Mutas are out. To be fair, there aren't that many of them, but the Mutas are going across the map. There was a bit of a mistake there by PartinG, losing his War Prism and his Immortals to the Biles like that. That was disastrous, but here we go. He does warp in. Stalkers defensively at home. The Mutas will not deal any damage, for now at least.
But what about the rest of the army?
And now that, you know, both players are kind of leaving each other alone, we have to kind of assess the situation. Like, a lot of damage was done. What was it? 14 drones went down. The third went down as well. But at the same time, PartinG did lose all of his Immortals. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Like, Dark, sure, he has like a army supply advantage, but it's Roach Ravager, which isn't necessarily ideal.
That it is not. It's will still work out for most of this game, I feel like, but once PartinG throws on the Templar Archives, right, or a robe, he actually already has a robe of facility, so yeah, once he gets more Disruptors out, then the Roach Ravager really starts to lose its value.
Definitely. And oh my god, losing Muta after Muta, these are losses that Dark cannot afford. He's taking out a couple of probes here and there, but it's just not worth it. Meanwhile, PartinG, he's expanding, he's taking another base. Dark is aware of it with these changelings, but at the same time, PartinG is pushing out across the map with his remade War Prism.
And Dark knows that PartinG isn't turning around with the rest of those Stalkers. He is looking to blink up, and ordinarily, I would say, well, maybe it's a good thing, right, to force your opponent to make Stalkers, but against PartinG, that is literally the last unit you want him to be making.
Oh god, exactly, and now we have another warp-in of Stalkers. It looks like this time, finally, the War Prism will be biled down, but it finishes warp-in, and now there are just so many Stalkers in the main of Dark.
Dark is building up quite a number of forces, though. These Stalkers are a little bit too far into the main base, but Dark cannot position his army in time. He did a really good job of re-droning earlier on, but now he's just lost them immediately.
He loses every single Ravager. At the same time, Dark actually killed the 4th base of PartinG. You know, he was a little bit ballsy, but he did send Roaches across the map, and now the Roaches have come back home. With this, Dark should be able to defend, and he will live on, but he did lose 13 workers. Oh boy.
Indeed, he did. Honestly, not looking too bad for either player at the moment. I still think I have to put PartinG at the advantage.
Yeah.
His economy got untouched. He is continuing to produce more and more army. Sure, +2 range finish up here for Dark, but look at how well PartinG is blinking. GG is called. And we're getting game 4.
That we are. Dark took a big gamble there, sending part of his army across the map to counterattack at the same time as defending. And we've seen him time and time again get away with that sort of thing. But against PartinG, like, oh god, he just couldn't pull it off. GG. PartinG, as you said, mate, he's fighting back. He's actually taking some games.
Yeah. And we could get potentially a reverse sweep, at least maybe the ace match here. They do tend to get very, very close when these two players face.
Oh boy. I mean, I'm grateful for this. As much of a fan of Dark as I am, I want this to go the distance. I don't want this to be a clean sweep either way. I want them to go back and forth. And yeah. I mean, PartinG, he does it. He does it for the Protosses out there.
He does. He does it for the puppy bears, the sugar babies? Question mark. He does it for Corsair? Probably not. But we are going to be continuing our best of 5 grande finales here on Jagannatha KBBLE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have the blue Zerg player coming out for the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing his team, Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. He bled out a lot, but hasn't quite been taken out. Finally, in this tournament, he's dropped a map, but he only needs one more win, and he becomes a champion. He is Dark.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha ALE, we have the Protoss player proving last game that his opponents can indeed bleed. It is one of the best Protoss players in all of South Korea. It is PartinG. He's getting proxy hatched.
Well, and this is actually a committed proxy hatch.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
I'm going to delay your stuff. Oh, I'm looking at Rally right now, Light, and it's not looking too good for PartinG.
Oh, not at all. I mean, thankfully PartinG did probe scout, so he is across the map. He should be able to see the timing on everything. He should realize, hey, hold on a second, something's missing here. You know, where is your base? So he may be able to deduce what's happening right now. Oh, he's gonna check. No,
he's building his wall.
Yeah, he's building his wall. Uh-oh.
Now, that probe is still not checking. Though I'm worried, like, he might be assuming that Dark just took the base at the third base location. Yeah,
no.
Faked out. He could have just, he could be thinking Dark. He's trying to, what's it called? He's trying to mind game me, right? Take the natural base at the third base location and make me think that it's pull first. So, going home now.
Yeah, he's going home. The hatchery is done. Spines are going up. There are a couple of more workers on the way here for more spines. PartinG, he sees the creep. He knows what is happening. He's trying to chrono out a Stalker as fast as possible, but
is it too late?
He didn't pull any boys. I actually don't think he sees it. Okay, now he sees it. Now he knows. Oh god.
He's well aware now. There will not be a wall for. Okay, now that probe can still get the wall. So the probe. There we go. Probe does get that wall. But this is a lot of production that's well within spine range right now.
Yeah, exactly. The queen pops out. The first spine has completed, and now we only have one pylon powering all of this. There we go. No, that's still just more shield batteries. Oh boy.
That is one pylon that I believe is in range of at least one of these Spine Crawlers apparently not. Stalker Force off the line. This next Spine Crawler will be in range of that pylon. And Dark is doing such a good job of distracting these Stalkers. They cannot do what they need to. Dark, you wanna focus pylon there, buddy? Or he's good with taking out these shield batteries.
Exactly, he's fine with just taking out the shield batteries. As another shield battery does fall, Lings are coming out, Lings are flooding out. Only 2 of these spines are burned. There we go, finally the third does come in as well. And yo, the pylon is getting low. Overcharge is being used to keep the pylon alive.
But what is being used to keep the shield battery alive?
And the pylon goes down. The shield battery actually...
That's all the production!
That's it! There's only 3 Stalkers left!
My god, Dark, he's angry. He's offended by that Stalker play coming out from PartinG that last game. Shield batteries are still up and running, but they are out of energy. Battery overcharge was used earlier on. And there's just no production.
Yeah, he's forced to build some gateways in his main base, a cyber core and a gateway on the way, but you know what? It's still not done, and those spines are getting ever so closer. There we go, leapfrogging forward into the natural base of PartinG. And here come the Lings.
Man, the Zerg tank, if you will. Yeah, the Lings do come in. I believe another battery overcharge is available, but it's too little, too late, too much, too soon at this point.
As all the shield batteries are going to go down, forces a recall on these Stalkers. One of them does go down, only 2 manage to evacuate, and mate, the gateway's not even done yet.
It ain't. The Cybercore got taken out earlier on. Yeah, he has to remake it. And that's a long research time.
Oh, God. It's going to take so long to get any Stalkers out. We got more Lings coming in here as well. The natural, it's dead, mate. It's gone. And eventually, that creep is going to spread all the way up into the main, and then the spines are going to be bottling up as well.
PartinG, he's doing everything he can right now. He's made it to the finals, which this is his shot. He wants to be the champion, but
the Banelings!
I don't see a path for him. The Banelings are coming in because of the Sim City. They're actually super much up.
They're stuck!
Oh, the Stalker saved them.
Oh my god.
But will they save them from the Lings?
No, not at all, mate. The Lings, they are in. They are on top of the Stalkers. The shield batteries have not finished up. One of them does finish, but it's not powered.
They're only powered. GG is called. Dark is your ESL Open Cup champion. And I just want to parrot something that a vibe that we kind of felt earlier on. Not like this, like. I was rooting for Dark. I know we have a lot of Dark fans here in the chat, but I don't want him to win like this.
Mate, for this one, just like this. Oh my god.
It was honestly beautiful coming out from Dark. He found a really good position to proxy that hatch. He found a beautiful timing, but at the same time, I gotta feel a little bit for PartinG here. He mind gamed himself.
He did.
He thought that Dark was, he thought he was calling Dark's bluff, but in the end, Dark wasn't bluffing.
Exactly, he was not prepared whatsoever. Like, if he had caught wind of this sooner, then he would have been able to pull a couple of workers, maybe deny, not necessarily the hatchery, but the spines. He would have chronoed out a Zealot as well, and the Zealot would have been able to help deal with everything. Just, oh my god, PartinG was just completely caught unawares, and by the time he really by the time he found out what was happening, it was too little too late. GG. What a game. What a series.
What a series. What a tournament in general. We don't get to cast Dark too often, but he might be one of the biggest wildcards in Korea. Not necessarily because of how he plays, but because he will always make the games go so insane. Well, I guess it does come back to how he plays, but it's always a treat watching him. He will always do something different.
It happened last year. Do you remember? It was, oh god, I think it was maybe Dark versus SOS on Eternal Empire. You remember? Yeah.
That was the first time we casted Dark.
Oh god, people in the chat, if you want to have a look at that VOD, it is on our YouTube channel. Dark versus SOS on Eternal Empire. I remember it got clipped and it blew up on Reddit.
It did. That was like one of the first ones to go to like a Southern Roost or something like that.
Oh my god.
It was, my god, Dark, he is something else.
Yeah. Oh god, he's always a treat to cast, and what I will say, because again we're praising Dark a lot, you know, much love to PartinG, because again you really have to be like an amazing player to bring that out of a player like Dark.
Exactly, it's not every day that Dark gets offended with a loss.
Oh. Wow.
What a tournament we had. I will definitely be going into Renegade's channel. I will be going to Steadfast's channel, because honestly, there are also a lot of other matchups here that we did miss. I think Coffee versus PartinG is a big one for me. Really want to know what happened there. Cure versus Out as well, you know?
Yeah. Also, something that I think you alluded to earlier, but I didn't get to see. I didn't realize how in favor the bets were for PartinG. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
84%.
Same amount of
Jesus.
Yeah, same amount of betters, but yeah, the actual points going to the bets, massive.
Made the people that placed their money on Dark just made some bank with those channel points. Of course, with those channel points, you can redeem them for a Spanish intro. You can redeem them for a Krupp, please. For those who may not know who that is, Krupp, of course, she is usually an observer on this channel, but we can bring her out for a cast with channel points.
You can peer pressure her.
Yeah,
or I guess that's more of a bribe if it's channel points.
It's true. But my god, what a game, what a series, GG. It was beautiful.
It really was a work of art. This entire day has been. I still remember Sound Dark. And honestly, I still remember Sound Nice, was it? No, PartinG Nice.
PartinG Nice, yeah. PartinG Nice, Haas Nice as well. Of course, we were able to cast the ZVT. Only one game, but it was a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, very intense game that we casted there for PvZ. And at the end of the day, this was quite a treat.
Definitely. Congratulations to our champion of ESL Open Cup number 68 Asia, which is Dark. Condolences to second place, as well as the other top 4 players, that being Nice and Zaun, as of course top 4 players do get paid out for this tournament. And thank you everyone in the chat for joining us. Massive shout out to Vindicta. Vindicta actually rated us for like 160 viewers, and for the most part we were able to retain all of that and then gain some on top. So yeah, thank you so much everyone who joined from his raid.
I'm spamming my liquor for you, Vindicta.
God, don't know if that's a good thing. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. If you enjoyed the broadcast, if you enjoyed, you know, our casting style, then consider following us here on Twitch. Consider following us on social media, on YouTube as well, where all our VODs are uploaded. Like, we've got plenty of StarCraft here. We've been doing this basically quote unquote full time for a year now, and oh my, there's a lot of content there on YouTube.
There really is.
And here on Twitch as well.
It's gotten to the point where I actually have to use playlists and stuff.
Oh boy.
I have to remember which, like, I was like, wait, was this the one where this player did that?
Yeah, it all kind of, it's slowly muddling together, but we're okay for now, we're okay. But yeah, with that,
I think we have a few more years left in us before our brains are gone.
Just a couple more.
Yeah. If we're lucky. And
then we'll end up like Steel. Oh
that's
boy.
The future.
That's where we're all headed. But
at least that means I can grow a beard.
I mean, I guess that's the only way, right? With that does bring the tournament to a close. Yaku, why don't you tell the people, mate, who are you? And where can they find more of you?
Who am I?
Ah.
Who am I?
What are you?
I am a guy currently trying to figure out how to use Nightbot and channel redemption points. It's freaking me out. Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1 is where I stream. I did stream it all this week, and I was feeling kind of guilty about it, but I'll try to make that up next week. It's my final week before I start my 3rd term of school, so we'll try to make that up. Apart from that, twitter.com@EmporaYakuzaku! !Discord in the chat. I'm over there, and Light is over there, Steel is over there that we were talking about earlier on, Krupp is there, and all of the other Ducklings and Duckling affiliates. Apart from that, buy my shirts. Where can I find you, Light?
Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter as well. I do also stream on my personal channel. It isn't much of this though, like I don't typically cast on that channel. It is just ladder sessions and playing some other games here and there. Maybe some behind the scenes work, like working on thumbnails or editing videos or scheduling some tweets. And for those wondering as to why I'm doing all of that, so I am of course the co-owner, the co-founder of CranKy Ducklings. I'm also one of two people behind SE2 Birthdays on Twitter, and StarCraft Esports on Twitter as well, and Facebook. And we're always trying to cover as many StarCraft events as possible, and deliver it to as many people as possible as well. So consider following those social media channels to keep up to date with StarCraft.
How many stocks do I have to buy to also become a co-owner?
That's never gonna happen. Oh god. But with that, we are done for the day. Thanks everyone for watching. I say we're done for the day. We will be back in an hour and 43 minutes.
CranKy Ducklings will be back.
Yes, the CranKy Ducklings will be back in an hour and 43 minutes with Demi C Weekly, as you can see on the screen right now with that countdown timer. That is a weekly Oceanic and Southeast Asian tournaments. So if you're interested in players or you've heard of players like Mio Micah, Go Joey, Beastork, Ender, Pez, Starduck, Azure, then they usually play and compete. Ranger, they play and compete in that event. So we will be covering that. I say we, you know, the royal we. Steel Mold will be casting that. Kuro will be doing production, so if you do want to redeem some of your points and you do want Kuro to cast, then she'll be available for that. And that will be in an hour and 43 minutes. So yeah, we got a lot of StarCraft here. Oh boy.
Beautiful.
Meanwhile, I've been casting literally all day since 7 a.m, so I'm gonna go have breakfast. I'm
gonna go to the bathroom.
Oh boy. All right, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys later, and I hope you guys had a good time here.
I did.
Yeah. Ciao.
Bella.